Okay, so it's podcast time again, guys.
Woo! Yay!
Volume 8 is halfway done. I have my two favorite people in the world with me. Who do I got?
Hi, I'm Twiins Inc. I'm the sister of Critter. I know we sound similar. I'm very tired of the jokes about it, though.
And?
Hi, I'm Allison. I am not Twiins' sister, or rather, not Critter's sister, because you're the one who keeps pushing the lore. You're confusing.
Only real fans know the lore.
You're gonna confuse everyone. I am not their sister. They are twin sisters. I am not their sister. Critter keeps calling me her sister on her Let's Play and then on her Twitter again. And it's like, no one is gonna understand.
I refer to you as my sister all the time. Just in my normal life.
You're super cute and I really love you. Everyone's gonna be very confused though. I guess it doesn't really matter.
So, Volume 8, halfway through.
Yeah.
We're going to address some theories and comments from my patrons and some on Twitter. But before that, what do you guys just think of Volume 8 so far?
Who wants to
Allison,
go first?
you go first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I just want to say, before we get started on that, this podcast might seem a little bit different to some people because we don't have visual cues. We can't look at each other and point at who gets to speak first. And
yes.
That's because for the first time, the audio might actually be better than it normally is because we're all recording in separate locations. So
yes, we did it because I moved, so now we can't just be in the same room as each other. So if it sounds weird, sorry. I'm doing my best.
We're getting used to a new setup basically. So hopefully it works out with little to no jank. But anyways, Volume 8 for me, it started out very weak. I was not terribly enthusiastic when it began. Mostly because I had kind of hoped that we left off on a pretty big moment last volume. And so what I was hoping for is that we could avoid the traditional RWBY formula of very slow pacing at the start and then it picks up speed as the volume goes on. I was really hoping for that, and that did not happen. I actively disliked the first few episodes. There were a few things in them. Yeah. There were a few things in them that I enjoyed, but for a lot of it, I found the animation to be kind of janky. There was a lot of really, really unfunny jokes that didn't make me smile at all. There were that conflict, that weird out of nowhere conflict with RWBY, you know what? You're kind of a bad leader. And everyone's like, yeah. And I'm like, what?
Oh. What happened to prompt this idea?
I think it was just an excuse to separate them.
Yeah, and then Blake and Yang separate and they're like, oh, do you think she's mad at me? And it was like, you didn't have to separate.
Blake, it's not like Blake was like, no, Yang, RWBY's the greatest leader. She was just like, I'll go with RWBY.
Yeah. There was just odd pacing, odd choices in the first half. Fortunately,
I was thinking about that. About how RWBY's team was doing the espionage thing, and they brought 2 extra people who are not good for sneaking. Nora has no right to be there.
Our queen of stealth, Nora.
And then Jolly's team had only 4, and their entire mission was crowd control. I'm like, Nora should have stayed.
Well, it's because Nora was destined to get sent out of commission, and then Penny ran away. So now the teams are even.
Now it makes sense.
So the first half of the volume for me, I found it off-putting, and it kind of was a bummer because I was feeling very, very hopeful for Volume 8. But the second half, I felt like it really picked up. There were still some moments here and there was like, but overall, I felt like the quality went up significantly for the later half. And so I am excited again for the rest of the volume, but they got to keep going up in order to impress me. So far, I'm feeling very mediocre towards this one.
Alrighty. What about you, what about you, Twiins? How do you feel?
I don't know. I've come to the conclusion that I really hate Yang, and that bums me out. But I do. She fucking annoys me constantly. But on the flip side, our heroes are doing basically nothing. Like Ruby, Weiss, and Blake are doing the same thing they always do right now, where they're sitting around a house drinking beverages. And I don't care anymore. I've stopped caring. We're focusing way more on the actually interesting characters, which is most of Juniper, specifically Jean and Ren.
Yeah.
Ren especially is like, he's the only one I care about on the hero team right now, and we're spending a ton of time with him, so that's cool. But we're spending the most time with the villains, which makes sense, because as always, the villains are the only ones ever doing anything to try to push the plot forward. Team RWBY, or rather Team Rainbow, did something, and that was cool, but it didn't do a ton for the plot. Like Salem was still gonna attack Atlas, even without the PBS sponsored by you PSA that RWBY gave out. I'm sure it'll go somewhere eventually, but I just don't give a shit about Team RWBY. So I guess I'm feeling vaguely lost and apathetic. I am enjoying everything else. Like I like seeing some backstory with Cinder. Oscar's scenes are pretty good. Ren is 10 out of 10. Jean's being pretty cool. And that's the thing, is everything feels kind of segmented and distant from itself. I'm struggling to classify the whole thing as a bubble, as like a together project.
I get that.
Yeah, it's just, it feels very scattered. So I feel very scattered. I don't think I like it as much as Volume 7 so far. But
Really?
The animation is much nicer. And the writing is still... The character writing, most of the time, is still pretty cool. I don't know. I'm hoping it picks up more in the second half. But I'm similar to Allison. I'm disappointed that... Again, it was waiting, like, they weren't wasting their time with the first couple of episodes, necessarily. Like, they were doing things, technically.
Right.
So, that's nice. But, again, it was kind of a lot of setting up, and then the 6th/7th episode hits, and suddenly things actually start happening.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of having to wait 7 episodes
It's
for
such a shame.
any given volume to really begin.
They
No,
they
thought-
didn't need to do that for this one. It felt like the perfect time for them to shake up that formula, and yeah.
And
that
I'm
was
not
a
saying,
bummer.
like, everything that happened should have just been cut.
Right.
But rather maybe just, like, condensed. Maybe we didn't need to spend so much time on Ren and Yang having an argument that then didn't get the opportunity to go anywhere because they got arrested by the Aesops, and now they're doing their new mission, and I don't know, it would be kind of weird if they stop in the middle of Monstro to be like, hey, what you said back there, that wasn't cool, and just conclude that confrontation.
Hey
On the
man,
flip
just wanted to
side-
say, you really hurt my feelings. As they're like, okay, but the final boss.
In front of Salem.
On the flip side, I have loved this volume so far. This is
We've
quickly becoming my favorite volume.
we cover
I'm happy for ya.
a perfect trifecta of covering all the bases.
Yes. I don't know. Like, you guys are saying things, and on one hand, I'm like, yeah, that is a totally, like, logical and valid argument. And then on the other hand, I'm like, no, Penny fought Cinder, and that was a lot of fun. Did you see the Hound?
Yeah, you can't help it if you think something is cool, man.
Yeah. Amazingly, and I know this is something most of the internet struggles to understand, but opinions don't all have to be the same.
So, we can still be friends and disagree about an anime.
So, since we're only halfway through the volume, I, rather than just, like, ask you guys randomly what you guys think might happen, or theories that might happen, I asked people on the internet what they think might happen.
Nice.
Wait, I gotta go first, because I've got a theory.
What's your theory?
This is...
Torchwick's in the whale.
Torchwick's in the whale.
In
no.
the whale. Just wait, he's there.
No, my theory is that Emerald is gonna be the one who ends up obtaining the lamp and summoning Jin exclusively because she's Aladdin. That's it. That's end of theory.
Full circle. It finally comes together. I agree. That's great. I hope that happens.
I would be jazzed if that happened.
I think it'd be cool.
Oh
no!
What
I think
if she asked if Cinder loved her and Jin's
That's what I was gonna say.
I
think she would waste it.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think she'd waste the question on something like that, and I think that would be a really cool move.
That would be sad. But also, gosh, that would be kind of like cathartic.
I wonder if she would do something crazy. Like, if she would ask, like, where's the beacon relic? So then she would go out to try to find it, to try to, like, impress Cinder.
Oh, gosh.
Somehow.
I hope not. And I'm sure that there are Emerald x Cinder fans who just really want to see those two get together, but I see their relationship as something very uncomfortable and bad and toxic. And
I mean, people ship Blake and Adam, so
yeah, that's true.
Who cares about toxicity?
Well, I think that with Cinder and Emerald, there are different ways of perceiving their relationship. I think to some people, Cinder comes across as suppressing her feelings as opposed to being an outright dick. But I don't agree with those perceptions, and so every time Emerald is like throws herself across the barbed wire so that Cinder can walk across, it's like, oh honey, no
Honey,
please go to therapy, please.
Regardless of who does get the relic and asks the lamp the third question, I do think it's going to happen this volume, mostly because Jin is too powerful. They have got to get rid of this element on the board.
I agree, yeah.
I think if not this volume, then it'll be like a cliffhanger this volume, and then it'll be the beginning of next volume.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, yeah, we're not going to hang on to this third question for very long, I don't think.
Kind of hope not cliffhanger, because I feel like they've been doing cliffhangers a lot, and
when it comes to RWBY, I always expect a cliffhanger.
Just resolve a storyline.
No conclusions. The end of every volume is just, oh fuck the Alice military, start new volume.
We're gonna come
resolutions
back.
don't exist.
We're still here. We're gonna keep watching. You don't have to.
Or if we are gonna leave, a cliffhanger isn't gonna keep us.
Yes, that's true. Because I almost left. Well, I guess that was kind of a resolution. So never mind. Maybe I should shut up. I was gonna say if I were to leave, I would have left at the end of volume 3, but that was not really cliffhangery. So
no, it was more like the end of a stage.
Yeah, end of an era.
Kind of a thing. Yeah.
So, I went to the internet, and first I asked my patrons, and they get top billing, because they're my beautiful, lovely patrons.
Yay!
And I appreciate them so much. And they all have like really good things to say. Every single one of them I really like. So let's start with the top. This one is from James Dodds. And James says, Ironwood is a power bottom. That is all.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes, I like this idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
James.
Go James.
Just sucker punch me out of the nowhere. I was ready for a question or a theory. I guess that's a theory.
I've seen plenty of fan art that support that.
All right.
This is a friendly reminder that our mom does watch our videos.
I mean, she's heard worse.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
That was all James Dodds had to say, by the way.
Thank you, James. You're saying the real truths out here.
Thank you, James.
Next up is Bear. Bear has 2 comments, starting with the first one. They say, I feel like Miles and such lack a lot of creativity when it comes to the fairy tales. I know you have touched on this before, but our most prominent antagonist, Cinder, had to wait 8 volumes before her backstory got revealed, and it ended up being such a blatant ripoff of the fairy tale she was based on, in my opinion. What would you have liked to see? That was a great question, Bear. Well
That
worded,
was very
also.
well, yeah.
Well done, Bear. I know it was like almost 1-to-1 with the original Cinderella fairy tale. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't know what else we could have done, because it was basically what I wanted to see.
I would have liked a reversal where Cinderella was, or rather Cinder, was the spoiled one, and the ugly stepsisters were the mistreated ones, and no fairy godmother or anything came to save the day. And that's why Cinder is so power hungry, because she was raised that way.
Wasn't
I think I would have liked that.
Yeah, that was something that one of your patrons, Twiins, commissioned a fan art from you, right?
Yes, Ferris of them all.
I like them.
I do too. They're swell.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
would have been a cool idea, because I remember you also added on to that and like made a complete set for of OCs for that idea, and I really liked them, and maybe that influenced my bias towards that, but I liked that idea so much that it was a kind of like, oh, there they are.
Yeah,
the real stepsisters were so boring.
I think that's the thing that disappointed me the most, was that the mother aspect of the story was fine, but the stepsisters were just so like bland. Yeah. And I really wanted something a bit more creative with the stepsisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
I think...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think a water theme with their coloration would have been cool, because they are, like, dousing Cinder's fire
Look at you with
something.
your color theming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As is.
More than...
I don't think that these extras even had, like, they didn't have a semblance, like...
No, they had nothing. They just had the same brown hair that everyone has. Why have fun colors? It's just an anime.
They were voiced by Emma Lee. Did you notice that?
Oh, what? Why did they waste her on... Oh.
Well, I'm wondering if she's gonna be on the soundtrack. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That sounds exciting.
I wish that... She's done voice acting before, and she's very talented. I wish that they had used her for something else.
A real character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she's coming back. Maybe the stepsisters aren't dead. Maybe they're just zombies.
Yeah, I was I liked Cinder's backstory once that cool song kicked on. But before that, it was ham-fisted to me. I don't mind them following fairy tale beats because I want them to do that more. It was just very like the sisters, the stepsisters were like comedically Stephen King like bully, like, and then I'll throw your food on the ground and I'll push you over and laugh. And it's like there wasn't even like a build of animosity. She showed up. They saw her for the first time and they're like, this bitch.
Also, to force the Cinderella story to happen, like Rhodes, that's the huntsman. Yeah. Rhodes shows up and he's like, golly, they're mistreating that girl. I'll help teach her to become stronger. And then he just lets her be abused openly. Like, he doesn't save her or, I don't know, call the cops, rescue her, get her out of the house, confront mom. He just is like, well, no, you're not allowed to leave until you're an adult.
And I definitely think the story would have been benefited if Rhodes, like, you could have had the same exact things happening and just cut Rhodes out of the story entirely. Like, Cinder could have just been training on her own or something.
They could have.
I think it was just... I feel like they just included him because they wanted, like, a quick little fight scene to fill out the volume with something.
If that was the reason for it, that would have been fine. And I did like her getting to see her learn how to fight. That was cool. I just wish that all we really needed to fix his issue of seeming like he's all performative when it comes to his concern. All we needed to see was one scene of him trying to do something to get her out of there. Like, just trying to have, like, a conversation with the stepmother or authorities or anything. Because I've seen a lot of people say things like, oh, I've been on RWBY Twitter more lately. I know the community now.
You fool.
How could you?
But along the lines of, well, maybe this or maybe that, like speculating on why he didn't do anything. And it's like, yeah, but we shouldn't have to. The scene should give us that information of if there was a reason why he could not step in and do the right thing, we should know why that is.
Yeah. Also, Cinder takes off the necklace and, like, it just comes off so easy. Like, I thought she would... It was made out of string. And I'm like, why didn't you just take it off earlier? I don't...
Right, especially... especially when it's like, I'm going to kill these bitches. Why not...
Yeah, take it off before you do the killing.
Especially if it would have been cooler if she had, like, exploded it off of her or melted it off with her fire power.
Stop.
Yeah.
Why are you so... Damn it.
It's so easy. I'm not a pariah.
I started this question being like, yeah, I thought it was fine. It was everything I wanted. And now here I'm going, damn it, you could have done so much more.
I mean, again, that's not to take away from your enjoyment of it. I'm glad that you had fun. But there were just little things here and there that could have been done better, I think.
Bear has a second comment question.
Okay, cool.
Bear says, I'm also predicting that our heroes are going to lose this volume. Given the fact Salem needs all the relics, it looks like the story can spend over the course of another 2 to 4 volumes. Some of the main characters are going to die, presumably some adults and maybe even one of the kids. If I had to make a bet, it would be Winter, Harriet, or one of the Aesops, Pietro, Penny, and maybe Tyrion? Knowing the writers, they gotta make room for more characters soon. So that's more just a comment, and interesting predictions there, Bear. I think it's just, in general, if someone is going to die, who do you think it would be?
Harriet.
I really do fucking hate Harriet.
I can't.
She is a bitch.
What a bitch.
I can't believe you made me do. I loved. Like once I actually looked at it, because I remember seeing the Aesops and being like, ugh, boring. Once I actually gave her like a look, it was like, okay, that's cute. I like how they alluded to the rabbit stuff without just making her straight up be a faunus. But
yeah,
holy shit. I can't stand
like they land and Jean's like, oh my gosh, do you see the river of Grimm? And she's like, where the fuck is Penny? It's like, girl, get your honey, what do you think?
River of Grimm, right? And she's like, yeah, I know. Penny, and it's
Penny. There's actually a huge section of the fandom that's like Harriet advocators. They're like, she's grieving, guys. Stop calling her a bitch. And I'm like, guess what? You could fucking grieve and not be an absolute trash person at the same time.
Also, guess what? She's fake. She's not grieving. She's being written this way.
Yeah, we also critiqued Jean when he was grieving and he was being a little bitch. Like,
You know who's not being a little bitch? Crow. Hello.
Well,
it can't happen.
He can't be a little bitch because he doesn't have any screen time.
Oh,
that's okay,
no.
because less Crow screen time means less Robin screen time.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, oh no, this is just becoming a hate list of like, we don't want Harriet anymore. Robin can die.
The only
I would. Go ahead.
The only one I could think of that has major death flags that I like off the top of my head is Penny, but if Penny died, Pietro could just bring her back. But then I'm pretty sure that would mean
he's running
Pietro
out of
would die.
aura. That's the thing. They gave the excuse. He's like, oh, I've only got so much aura left. That's why he was coughing.
He could bring her back, but he would die.
Right.
So I guess if Penny dies, Pietro would die.
Would she still be the maiden? Would she lose the powers?
Yeah. Yes. I would say yes. Death is death. And,
I don't know.
Unless he was able to instantaneously revive her, I think the power would leave.
I don't think that they're stupid enough to kill Penny, because they already did.
Yes, exactly.
And if they bring her back just to kill her again, then they truly would lose all respect I have. Because it was clearly, salutations, I'm back, don't you love me? I'm so cute. And now cry again,
yes.
Be sad again, because we forgot to use my death smartly the first time.
Right, that we used Penny's death last time for just a moment, and then it was dismissed entirely for Pyrrha. Not that Pyrrha's death was unimportant, it's just we didn't bring up Penny at all. So yeah, if they kill off Penny again, it will feel very cheap. I
like a very much like just sad fodder, sadness fodder, cry.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would do it, because they have to realize that that would be a bad look. At least I would hope.
I definitely don't think any of our main heroes, so Ruby or Juniper, I don't think they're gonna die.
Nah.
I think there's a good chance Nora and maybe Ren, but they just gave Ren a power-up, so I'm not sure. But that they'll just leave the adventuring party, especially since Nora is now scarred, and like she's hurt right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get that over to Vacuo. And I don't think Tyrion's gonna die, because he and Mercury are they have left.
Yeah.
They are now going to the next volume. So
Mm-hmm.
I think if anyone's gonna die, it will be Emerald or Neo.
Interesting. You think Emerald's gonna die?
No, she just got a new outfit.
Yeah.
Why would they bother?
Yeah, because I think if my theory is correct and she gets the lamp and she asks, does Cinder love me? And she learns the answer is no, she's done. Like, she doesn't have anything else to do. There's no reason for her to stay, no reason. She's not going to join the good guys. I think she'll be over. There's nothing left for her to do if she can't unconditionally love Cinder. So, yeah, and I think Neo is, I think she's dead weight. And the fact that she is like, I want to kill RWBY, but isn't doing anything to, like, further that goal. I think she might die because they can't have another person who's kind of a renegade trying to kill RWBY, but not part of the evil Salem team. Because Cinder's already filling that role, and Neo isn't helping by being there.
No.
So
She definitely feels third wheelie, especially since in the fight it was like Neo versus Maria. Which
go fight the old lady who does not need that fucking walking stick.
Like, that was a cute moment, but yeah, it definitely felt like, oh yeah, we have these two. Have the minions fight each other, I guess. I have a theory. Kind of. I don't know. I feel like Ironwood might die.
Oh yeah. Huh.
He feels.
Yeah.
He feels. Oh, this fucking guy.
What an idiot. What a dumbass dumb. Oh. Remember how they ruined Ironwood? I showered them with praise for writing a really well done character. And then they had him go, oh golly, let's work with the bad guy. What? He hacked me? Oh, how could this happen?
Ironwood was the dumbest character that we have maybe ever seen on RWBY, and it was just so stupid watching him be shocked that Watts fucked him over. Like, he was genuinely surprised, and it's like, you're so dumb. You're so fucking dumb. He's a living shocked Pikachu face. Yeah, it's like, okay, bad guy, I caught you hacking. What if I had you hack for me? Don't hack me though. And Watts is like, okay, I definitely
with his fingers crossed behind his back.
Yeah, he's like, I definitely promise that I will not exactly do that. And then he does, and then Ironwood is truly astonished. And
Ironwood gets mad and throws his phone at Watts. Yeah. His phone that has everything Watts definitely
Watts,
needs
like,
to get out.
Snatches it out of midair and just puts it in his pocket. He's like, it's mine now.
Yeah. Ironwood, like, pats his pockets later, and he's like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. My dignity. I
can't find my phone.
My character arc.
Also, okay.
So yeah, I kind of feel.
I saw someone mention something about this, like, back at the beginning of the volume, and it's been in the back of my mind. Okay, so he has Watts doing things for him, but he's not having Watts turn the heat back on? And I'm like, okay, so yeah.
How did it come to this? Ironwood was the reason why I was like, for volume 7, I was so hype about the writing, because I was like, they're doing like deep, morally gray character writing. They've literally never managed to do that before, even though they've wanted to for Oz. They haven't actually succeeded. And it was, I'll wait. I'll give you a moment. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, I feel like with the way that Ironwood has fallen, the only way he can quote-unquote redeem himself and return to at least a morally gray space without living the rest of his life as a buffoon is dying as a martyr.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna go out in a blaze of glory, and get in a spaceship and fly it into the whale's butthole like that dude in Independence Day, and it'll explode over everything, and he'll win, and that'll be how the problem is solved. He'll blow up the whale.
And then he saved the day.
What a shame that they had to ruin a character.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's an amazing... I didn't think about that.
Moving forward, our next comment. This is from Classy Critic. In this volume, it seems that a lot of focus has been put on Ren and Nora. I feel like something will happen to one of them by the end of the volume, whether that is death or change of side or no longer a couple, I don't know. I'm interested in it either way. Yeah, this is a very Ren and Nora heavy volume, which I am super all about.
Yeah.
And they set it up. They set it up throughout the last volume as well, which is appreciated. So that it doesn't just come out of nowhere.
It's actually like a continuous story and not like just Jean refusing to do anything for 3 volumes.
It's not just suddenly like, RWBY, you're a bad leader. This is a conflict we're having now.
I've got a theory of something that'll happen. It's not like a huge event, but I do theorize something with Ren and Nora. So Ren can now see emotions and shit.
Yeah.
And that's cool and fun, and I like that.
It is.
So, I anticipate, so they get out of Monstro, and they come find the others in the Schnee Manor, and he's like, where's Nora? And they're like, and they take him upstairs, and she's in bed, and she's all scarred and shit. And he's like, oh no, oh fuck, she got so hurt because of me, or, he'll be all sad. And then she'll wake up and see him, and we'll look through his eyes, and there'll be like pink fluttery petals of love, and he sees just how much she loves him, and then they kiss.
Oh no, that would be cute.
and that is what that's it. That's all I'm putting all of my chips on that on that exact thing.
So cute, and I will be unendingly disappointed if we don't get to see a scene of him realizing just how much she loves him, because that's precious. I have a very boring idea of what's gonna happen to Ren and Nora. I think they're just gonna leave. I think that they're I don't know if necessarily retirement, but maybe rehab for a bit as Nora is recuperating. I think they're going to exit the plot for a while, which would be good because the cast is bloated. But I feel like it would be strange to kill them off or kill one of them. I guess you could. It would just be odd.
Don't do that.
Well, it would be odd because you just gave Ren a power-up, and then for Nora, it's like...
You just gave her, like, a life-changing moment.
Yeah.
Like, this is on the same level as Yang losing her arm.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's you're giving characters what seems like further story arcs, so that usually doesn't signify, oh, this character is gonna die soon. If anything, Jean is the one who is the most likely to die because his character arc is done. I don't think he's gonna die.
He does have a whole lot of nothing to do.
I'm just saying that's the kind of character you kill off. Typically, is someone who's finished with their development.
Yeah,
they can't get rid of Jean though because he's the healer. Like,
right, exactly.
He plays such an important role.
Yeah, it would feel strange to me if they killed him off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I kind of expect all of Team Juniper to get left behind in one way or another.
Oh, Jean too.
Yeah, Jean and Oscar. Maybe not Oscar.
Oscar can't.
I don't think Oscar.
He's like. Oscar is the only thing keeping the girls connected to the plot at this point.
I don't know if Oscar's gonna stay with the villains, like, for an extended period of time, still. But I kind of think Juniper, at least Jean, Nora, and Ren, should get disbanded, or from Team RWBY at least, because if we're going to Vacuo next, that means we're going to team up with Team Coffee and Team Sun, and that's 8 more characters they're going to shove into...
Coffee...
Yeah.
I don't know if Coffee are guaranteed. I think there's a good chance we'd get a Coffee cameo, kind of like Team Funky.
Maybe.
But I don't know if necessarily, like, Team Coffee would join the adventuring party.
But yeah,
And,
I
quite
expect
frankly,
for
if Sun, like Team Sun, does join, I think it'll just be Sun and Neptune.
Yes.
Because
Sage
they
and
really don't
Scarlet,
seem to
literally who? We're
I
never
expect-
seeing them again. Bet.
I expect all
anything.
8 of them. I expect all 8 of them to become part of the plot because of just fan service purposes only. Like, they put
Nothing.
Neo back into the plot.
you're not wrong. I mean, they did create the Aesops, so it's not out of the question for them to use a huge number of characters
That's
like
true.
that.
That's true. I guess it felt to me like if we were to see them again, it would be a Team Funky-esque cameo where it's like, hey guys, we're here for one scene. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Bye.
My theory is Ren will join the Aesops, and Nora will join the Happy Huntresses.
Fascinating.
That would be
Yeah.
cute.
It would be. But that's also...
But
I have
then they
nothing.
would be on opposing teams.
Yeah,
They
it's
could
like
work
opposite of
together.
your thing.
Yeah, they can reform them.
Yeah, maybe they could work yeah.
They kill Harriet, and I don't even hate Harriet that much. I just found her mildly annoying.
I do like that Harriet mentioned, like, in her angry rant, she was like, just like how Marrow replaced Tortuga, Tortuga, that's Spanish for turtle,
Yeah.
and there's the tortoise in The Tortoise and the Hare, and cool, sad that you're dead, bro.
It's sad because Tortuga is a fucking cool name.
It's so cool.
I would have loved to have seen Tortuga.
The next one this is from G Extreme. G Extreme has 2 parts to their comment. One, they say, my predictions for Volume 8 is 1, Salem finding out where the relic in Beacon is giving the orders to Dr. Merlot, the main antagonist from Grim Eclipse, and then send his modified Grim to attack Beacon and retrieve the relic. If Dr. Merlot is actually made into an actual canon villain, then I would also theorize that they'll reveal him to be the one who helped Salem create the Hound, since he was known for experimenting on Grim. That would make sense, totally, but, unfortunately, I don't think we need more antagonists, unfortunately.
Yeah, we can all just assume Merlot helped anyway, even if he doesn't show up in the proper show. Mm-hmm. That is a great idea, though. I don't think Salem's gonna focus on Beacon just yet, just because the next stop does seem to be Vacuo. And I'm predicting that what'll happen is we'll finish up in Atlas, and then we'll spend 3 volumes in Vacuo, and then we'll spend, like, a volume or 2 or something. Like, they'll come back to Beacon at the end. And
that is
it's
exactly
poetry
what
of
I think,
rhymes.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed because I fancied myself good at RWBY now. Because I looked at RWBY Volume 8 on Twitter for like 15 minutes. I have never heard of this character, and so I'm at a bit of a loss.
He's from the game. He's from the video game.
Is he what fairy tale is he? Is he cool?
I don't know. I didn't play that game. It looked boring.
It does look boring.
It looked like a lame version of like the Hyrule Warriors kind of franchise.
Oh, that one. I thought mobile. I thought the mobile game.
Oh, understandable.
Because that's the only one I know because Twiins knows it.
Yes. And yes, I know it's shutting down. You can stop leaving comments about it on the video I made.
It's like with your imposter pro tags video, like I went and checked it, and since Among Us came out, there's just a million just like, blank was not the imposter. Man, yeah. I'm cool, I referenced the thing.
Like, I appreciate it, I suppose, but, like, I don't know. Someone else has made the comment already.
And G Extreme's second comment theory is, from the beginning of Volume 8, I wanted the Penny hacking idea to be more stylized to her fairy tale, and when it actually happened, I was afraid they went the boring route and just gave Watts full control. But it seems like they might be going the route I was thinking. My theory for Penny's hacking process is rather than having Watts getting full control, he would have access to the way she thinks and have her battle with her own conscience. So Watts would basically become her Jiminy Cricket is.
Oh,
that's
cool idea.
so
I like all
cool.
those words that you just said.
I hope you're right. I hope
so too.
That would be
I did
amazing.
just realize how smart it is, because I thought it was really, really dumb, because they were like, we got one of her swords, now he can hack into the mainframe, because that's like using the microwave to hack into someone's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I made the comparison I took your USB mouse, and now I've hacked your computer with it.
But I just realized that her swords are connected by strings. He's pulling her strings.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
It's okay.
Yeah. I like all of this.
We made it. We all with G Extreme. We all made it better.
Yeah. Well done. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. It seemed like you have a good chance of being right. Because we've every show in the world has done the mind control bit. And it's usually a bit stale.
We did it already in Volume 3, you know? Let's do something different.
When?
Did we?
I'm blanking.
When they hacked Ironwood's knights and
paladins.
That doesn't count. They're not people.
That doesn't count. Atlas technology sucks.
It does.
Clearly.
It really does.
Their shields don't shield themselves. You could probably hack into those robots by waving your hands at them in sign language.
Literally a fence would be more efficient.
Yes.
Do you remember back in, Volume 2, the guards, that when Cinder was, infiltrating and being sneaky, the guards was like, what's the password? It's like, it's beacon, but the E is a 3. And I'm like, that is 100% Ironwood. He thought of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love making that joke at Allison. Like, what's the password to Alice's fire? Oh, it's Atlas, but the S is a 5.
Remember how Watts came up with this whole fucking scheme, and he's like, and then I'll get Jacques elected, and then I can get the nuclear codes, and then he finally gets into Jacques' room, and it's like, the password is like 1, 2, 3 ABC, and he's like, oh,
a password
I didn't,
so easy.
I didn't need to do any of this. I could have just
a password so easy to hack that drunk off her ass Willow was able to get it.
She's like, I hacked my husband, and by hacked I mean he wrote it on a post-it note and stuck it to the PC. You didn't just do any political games. That we can just cut out half of Volume 7.
I wish.
Yeah. The middle's really meh.
It's only meh in hindsight when you realize that it was all for nothing.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
G Extreme does have a third part to their question, but we kind of just answered it. It's and if there's more time for one more question, which team do you think is going to be coming from Shade to help Atlas? Team Sun or Team Coffee? Both. I expect both.
I actually didn't factor in Coffee at all. I was literally basing everything off of what they showed us, which was, I feel like, Sun and Neptune, and then Ilya are going to show up. And I guess if Ilya's there, it'd be awfully strange if Blake's family, if they didn't show up at all. Glinda, I think will also.
Yeah, we saw Glinda.
Yeah,
I don't think Glinda's gonna do that. I think she'd stay at Vale, honestly.
Oh, why would they do
stay at a broke ass school? Well, I guess she's protecting the relic.
Yeah.
Lots of people surmise that she is either the maiden, which could be
that'd be neat,
or that some people think she's a living relic, kind of like Jin, because her cape has a tiara on the back. I think that one's W for wow. That's a stretch.
I think that's cool. I think that'd be neat.
It's a neat idea.
Because then
I just don't think it's true.
How would they find it? I like that. I think that's great.
That would explain why they can't find the relic.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like, where did you look? Like, you had time. Everyone ran.
Alright, next up we have a comment from Andrew. Andrew says, heard a crazy theory that we don't know that being eaten by Grim whole means death, and it means that he's in the whale. He's in the whale without being in the whale. I don't think it's true, but wait, hold on, Andrew, one second. Okay, don't think it's true, but Hound could have been a human turned Grim. Possible. I have the thought that if Ironwood dies, Ozpin/Oscar will make reference that Ironwood's heart was in the right place. Seems that when Leo turned to Ozpin, he lost his courage, and when Ironwood turned on him, he lost his heart.
Torchwick's in the whale!
He's in the whale!
If Torchwick is the Hound, then Twiins was right all along.
Correct.
And
I will make a video
been
about
in the
it.
whale, so
I would
super
also
right.
accept that as because that's what the happens to the kids. They get turned into donkeys because of the waterfall. And I would accept that as the jackassification of Torchwick that I have always wanted since Volume 1.
If that is Torchwick and Neo finds out,
it could be cool if they kill the Hound. And instead of just powdering away like how they usually do, like it powders or it melts off, and underneath all that, it's a man, and it's Torchwick. And then, I don't know, then he also dies. I don't care. I just want to be right.
I'm on this with you, friend.
I don't know if I think the Hound is Torchwick. I would be delighted if it is, though.
right there with you.
I've seen I've seen theories that the Hound is Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Cinder kind of recognized it. Or her stepmom lady is the Hound. I find both of these to be very questionable, because I don't think Salem would have bothered to go find their corpses at the hotel like 7 years later.
I agree.
Did you say Rose?
Rhodes.
Oh, the huntsman with Greed's ability.
Okay, because I've seen someone think that it was Summer. And so I thought you were calling Summer Rose, and I got...
No, that would be weird, but I have seen that as well.
I think people need to give up on this Summer's actually alive bullshit. She's not. Just fucking until anything happens to suggest that she's still alive, which literally nothing has. 0 things have. Multiple people have been like, she fucking died. I saw it. Like, just give up. She's not. She's dead, okay? She's dead just like Apira's dead. Shut the fuck up about it.
And if Summer was alive, I feel like they wouldn't actually be able to do that much with it in terms of story. Because... that wouldn't change Ruby's motivation. It's already, you killed my mom. It would be, I don't know, it would just feel kind of empty. Like
it would also be
that wouldn't add any new layers to it.
It would also it would be like this thing like remember Titanic? The animated Titanic.
I do.
One of them.
Yeah. Where are we going? Do you, audience?
I'm gonna let Critter finish the sentence, so then I can follow up with a much more well-known metaphor. So go ahead.
In Titanic, the main lady, who's like a Cinderella knockoff, at the end, when she gets off the Titanic, she finds this old lady who was there
Oh.
the whole time, and the old lady's like, "I'm your mom," and Cinderella knockoff is like, "I've been looking for you," and her mom is like, "I wanted to keep you, but I wasn't allowed," and I'm like, "Bitch, it's been 20 years. You couldn't have reached out at any point in time to find your daughter." If it was like that, I would be like, "Alright, what is keeping Summer away from her daughter for so long?"
Now take that example that you just used and instead replace it with Harry Potter and his parents.
There we go. Fucking Titanic, are you kidding me?
But his parents are dead.
Yeah, so is Summer.
Yeah, if it was just like the story ends and it's like, Harry, it's me, James, and Harry's like, oh, neat, and then a hard end credits. What the?
Harry, it's me. Oh.
Harry's upper lip curls.
Side tangent, have you seen that video of Dumbledore talking calmly to Harry?
No. No, I haven't.
I've seen it suggested.
Let's
I understand. I understand the gimmick. I know. I don't need to watch it. I know it already.
So yeah, Ruby. This is another theory I've heard about the Hound, which is my least favorite. The theory is Adam is the Hound because it doesn't have eyes.
He's dead. He's dead, guys. Just
But
like
he
Summer,
had
just
so
like Pyrrha,
much
he's dead.
potential.
No, we're done with Adam. Blake killed him, like, twice. He's dead.
Twice.
Give the fuck up. He's not coming back. Sorry that he was your OC Do Not Steal Mary Sue self-insert. He's dead. He's dead. Get over it. It's not, everything doesn't have to, it could just be a Grim. The Hound could just be a Grim.
It's just a cool Grim. And we're like,
It doesn't have to be
but
somebody.
what if it's Hazel's sister? Just every dead character.
See, that's a cool idea, though.
Yeah, because maybe then we can justify Hazel beating the shit out of a small child, and then
Which I need to talk.
And then there,
I need to talk about my husband, by the way.
your dead husband. He's dead.
Yeah,
the story
so-
killed him.
So, Volume 8 begins, and they put him in a hideous new outfit.
Oh no.
And it's like, oh no. And they also, I don't know who modeled him, but they must have just never seen muscles ever before, because he just does not look right.
His horrible pretzel body.
Yeah, and then, so I'm like, oh no, my husband is ugly now, but hey, at least he's still a good guy. Oh no, and now they have him beating a child. He can't be my husband anymore. He's a child beater. But now that they've actually made him a villain. Like, he is beating a child. And Oscar is bloody and bruised. He is mercilessly terrorizing a kid. And now it's like, okay, so he's a villain now because he's doing the villain things. And now it's like, wait, Hazel, don't you want to be a good guy? And it's like, no, you fucked up.
Hazel,
He's a bad guy
Hazel,
now. He
listen
really
to
is.
me. Are you sure you're doing the right thing? And Hazel's like, what? And he looks down at his bloody fists and the small broken child body, and he's like, I never thought about, maybe Grim bad?
And it's like, you just made me not like him. You can't now have him switch sides.
You've
just
effectively
like how
made him a really, really bad guy, and now it's like, but maybe redeemable?
No, yeah, exactly.
If there were a contender for most stupid, Hazel would be right beneath Ironwood. For
my list of
galaxy
husbands...
brain take of, well, I tried to kill Salem, but she's strong, so I work for Salem.
I will kill child.
And then I win.
My husbands are all really stupid in this show. I'm not even into himbos. What is this?
They're not even good himbos.
No!
It's just dumb. Bunch of dumb assholes shooting and beating the same child.
Yeah.
Moving forward, on to our next comment. We have Sage Moon. They say, now that Cinder's backstory has been revealed, where do you think her character is headed? Do you think she will defect? If so, do you think she will aid in the fight against Salem alongside her heroes? Or even a possible redemption arc? Or will she just tragically die? Would love to hear your theories. Thank you, Sage Moon. I think she might defect, but I really don't think she would join the heroes. I don't think she would look over at RWBY and be like, there's that bitch who cut off my arm and fucked up my face. Let's team up with her.
She also killed Pyrrha.
Yeah.
You don't put the only villain with a hero team murder on the good guy side, you know? It's not like this is a Neo-Cortex, let's be friends now.
Yeah, it's not a goofy, it's not a goofy situation where it's like, oh, Team Rocket, we had fun. Yeah, we'll work with you to get off this deserted island. Cinder has kind of done a Hazel, but way before he was doing it. And long since has crossed over into the point of really kind of an irredeemable person. So it would not be that if you were to make a character like that become a hero, you would have to do some extensive work on that. There would need to be multiple volumes of Cinder redeeming herself before that was a thing. like Zuko levels of introspection and hard work in order to make shift seem remotely plausible. I think it would be totally reasonable for her to defect and go her own way, but certainly not be a hero or join the heroes. At least not right now.
I kind of want her to defect and then be like a third player, so it's not just like Salem's forces and then the heroes' forces.
Yeah, I wanted Ironwood to do that, but...
But if there is a third player, that might confuse things even more.
No, I agree that I want Cinder to be kind of her own thing. Yeah, that's it.
Next, we have That's Not Blue, which I love that username. That's Not Blue. They have 3 questions. They ask, what are your favorite and least favorite episodes from this new volume? I'll go first. My favorite episode was the one where Penny fought Cinder. That was amazing. And my least favorite... Man... Golly gee. It was one of the, most recent episodes.
Fascinating.
Was it maybe it was the latest episode. Yeah, nothing happened.
What?
It was just boring.
What?
No.
Are you fucking me?
It was the first episode. The first episode was my least favorite. I didn't like it. It's just standing around.
Alright, I'll stop sputtering.
But the latest episode, episode 8, similarly just standing around talking to each other, you know?
I will disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Me also that.
I'm gonna say, I don't know the episodes too well.
You could have moments if you need to.
I'll just go with my least favorite was episode 1. It felt really rushed. Like they skipped a whole season's worth of setting up shit somehow. It felt like I had jumped into a show that I wasn't watching previously when episode 1 began, you know? And I don't know, I'm still figuring that out. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna say my favorite so far has been the latest episode. Episode 8.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It was exciting. It was exciting. Things happened. It was cool. I liked the characters and the development they did. And also there was that really funny moment where, and it wasn't intentionally funny, but we cut to Schnee Manor and them sitting around, and so Weiss is hanging out near the fireplace, and then Blake and RWBY come in, and Blake walks in with her 1 cup, and she's just drinking her fucking coffee, and RWBY, dual-wielding cups, 1 in each hand, has to awkwardly close the door by herself, and I'm like, Blake, fucking close the the door. What are you doing, you little shit? What a dickhead. And just that visual has been in my head since it happened, and it makes me laugh. Allison, what about you?
I have a hard time in my memory, like, visually separating episodes. So I remember really liking the most recent episode, so I'm gonna say that's my favorite. That is subject to change, though.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I was really surprised when you said you didn't like it, because I was all about it. And then I don't even remember if I actually disliked this episode that much. I just hated the moment so much that it, like, stuck with me. It was that fucking scene where, the episode with the scene where they've just gotten out of the tubes, and Weiss is holding Nora by the ear, and Nora's doing this hand motion, and it looks so bad, and I was irrationally mad about it because RWBY's visual comedy in particular has always just really not done it for me.
You're right. That is the... I agree.
What else happened in that episode? Was anything redeemable about it, so I need to change my mind.
Penny fought the Aesops in that episode?
Oh, no, I didn't like that one. Cool. I will keep my answer.
And Nora got her scars. Like, that was
a cool moment in a bad episode.
Yes.
I agree.
The infiltrating really, it was not funny, and I don't know why they tried to make it so, like, stupidly, like, comedy in the middle of all the shit happening around them.
Well,
especially since, like, I don't know, espionage isn't the time to be having whoop, 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 golly, we're so wacky, like, kind of comedy.
I think I know why they tried to do it. I think they had the season laid out in front of them, and they were like, okay, so this is gonna get serious real quick. And so I think what they did was they just front-loaded their comedy so that the later half wouldn't feel... so that the volume wouldn't feel so serious. And I understand. I do. I just... boy,
it wasn't good.
Boy, what's an anti-laugh? Because that...
There was that had that part. I hated it. That's the part I always think about. It's Penny, and they're like, "All right, Penny, what direction do we have to go?" And she's like, "We're gonna go left, left, right, straight up, left, right."
Yeah,
and she's like, it looks just bad, and I hate it. I'm like,
they've
animate.
been funny before. They can do it.
That's Not Blue has a second question, which is, did any of your predictions for the volume come true? If so, did they happen in the ways you expected?
If Torchwick is the Hound, then the answer will be yes and no.
Several things I've predicted have come true. Not a single one has been in the way I expected. I have been blown away by this volume so far.
I
don't think I really had too many predictions. I really didn't know what to expect at the end of Volume 7. No! Yes, I've got an answer. I predicted that Oscar and Whitley would have, like a mini adventure together, where together they would get Oscar back to the heroes, and along the way, they grow and learn from each other, and Whitley becomes redeemed and a cool guy because of that. And in the first episode, like 2 seconds in, they just pick up Oscar and it was
we
like,
found you
why did that
looking.
fucking happen?
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Then they immediately lost him again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I sure hope we don't need to find you immediately later.
Yeah, what was the fucking point? They could have just been looking for him, and then the Hound, and then oh golly.
Yeah, whatever. I had one prediction, and it did not come true, and it was just a structural prediction of, I already mentioned, I thought that Volume 1 would start, and we would cut immediately into,
Volume 8?
I mean Episode 1 of Volume 8. I thought it would start and we would cut immediately into action. Or that it wouldn't be Salem is gonna wait until this episode and to like do stuff. I thought it was going to be from the get-go. It's wartime, baby. Whatever. I did have a hope that came true. I didn't theorize this was going to happen. This was just something on my wish list. I had been hoping for a while that Oscar would be the damsel, because I felt like that would be finally like a good motivator for Team RWBY that would feel actually personal and not just the bad guy, they're gonna destroy the world, like yeah, but something personal, like Team
and
RWBY
most of Team
has
RWBY
more
don't even...
Team RWBY has more personal stakes with the main bad guy's henchman, Cinder, than she does with the primary antagonist. So it was just I hope for that, and that happened. So cool.
And most of Team RWBY don't even know that he's been taken. RWBY,
they're busy.
and Blake.
that doesn't bother me though. It was, something interesting.
Yeah.
At the very least,
right.
it's a personal stake for the audience because I'm sure there are people who dislike Oscar as a character, but for the audience at least, now we also are personally invested beyond more than just the bad guy is bad.
That's true.
Yes. That's Not Blue had one last question, but you kind of answered it already, which was, Twiins, is Hazel still highly smashable in that new outfit? In parentheses, sorry.
That needs to be cropped and Twiins' new, Twitter header.
Yes, I want that as my Twitter header.
That's great. Sorry.
The concept art is fine.
Yes.
It's sure
It's
the
the
model.
dreads. They just don't look great.
They're not dreads, it's just a ponytail.
It just doesn't look great.
It doesn't, and the outfit is stupid, and his muscles look bad. Oh.
Maybe you could do a drawn out where you redesign Hazel for your own smashable purposes.
Yeah, and then you can redesign his character so that he's not a horrible person.
Alright, moving on to our next comment. This is from Cool Duck. Cool Duck's a cool dude. Cool Duck says... Yes. With a K. Cool Duck says...
Cool.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
Duck
I was like...
does have K in it.
Cool Duck says, I really feel like Emerald is going to tell Cinder about the relic name, and she's going to use that to try to figure out how to defeat Salem, which is a thing we have not thought about yet. We keep theorizing Emerald will just go directly to Jin. Cool Duck does bring up this interesting option that Emerald could tell Cinder about it, and then Cinder could go do something.
No, I hope not.
I mean, that would be pretty interesting.
It would be
I don't know
interesting.
what Cinder would do. I don't know what she would ask for.
I think it would be most interesting if Emerald had instead the thought of, I'm gonna get the relic for her. And then
yes.
And then in what is supposed to be the pass off, like, look, didn't I do great? I got the relic. Aren't you proud of me? Oh no, they already have the relic. Fuck.
Well, if Cinder defects, and then she took it from Salem and gave it to defectee Cinder.
Yeah, and then Cinder's like, if Cinder tries to pull that shit, like how she did with Neo, where she's all, like, rude and everything, and maybe then Emerald could be like, oh, wait, hang on, I don't know, and...
Man, I guess
I just don't want...
does that need to happen before...
Yeah, I guess I just don't want Cinder to get it.
I'm wondering if we could do a thing where we could turn Jin into a real girl. Because that's what Aladdin does at the end.
Ooh.
I wonder if there's a thing Emerald could ask that would turn Jin into a real girl. Oh, man.
I don't think so, because that wouldn't make much sense.
No,
Maybe Pietro could do it.
and
And then Jin would be sisters with Penny.
Yeah.
Oh, AU fanfic. Yeah, that doesn't seem doable.
No, a cool idea though.
Cool duck idea. All right, and then we have one last Patreon question. This is from Dakota D. They ask, I have strong feeling that RWBY may end up getting the Winter Maiden powers. Do you think the show may end up with Team RWBY all having the Maiden powers? I don't know about all of Team RWBY, just because I want Nora to have some love too. But I'm right there with you. Like, if Penny does bite the bullet, I think RWBY would get the Maiden powers.
That does make the most sense.
Yeah.
I don't think Penny is gonna bite the bullet though, so...
Well, she might bite the bullet, then it's that thing we were talking about earlier, where she might die.
Yeah.
The main powers
go.
go.
I think it's more likely that, that a different member of Team RWBY would, like, if only one of them is gonna become a maiden, I think it's more likely that it wouldn't be RWBY or Weiss, because RWBY already is special because she has silver eyes, and Weiss is already OP because of her semblance, and not just because she can summon, but because her semblance is special and hereditary. So I think the two that are most likely to obtain maiden status are Blake or Yang. And on top of that, I think of the two, Yang is more so the possibility, because Blake is already special because she's Faunus, and also we've just spent so much time with Blake. Like she had her whole...
silly if Yang got the winter power, the summer one.
Yes, I would
say.
Oh.
What if they do this? Because Penny has crash landed back on Earth and is like bleeding green, and what if they, like, pick her up, put her in the bed next to Nora, recovery bed of dreams, and then Penny just rolls over and then looks at Nora, and Nora's the last person in her thoughts, and then Penny dies.
And then Nora will finally be important, and you'll be so happy. I love you, I'm kidding. I'm
gonna be honest, I think
it'd be so cool if Nora got something like that. I just don't think it's likely.
I think if Penny were to die, I actually think it would go to Winter. I think Winter would become the maiden.
No, that'd be boring. Don't give Winter the winter powers. That's so dumb.
Listen, I'm
but
right
then
there
we
with
can
ya.
exile her from the show, just like the other maiden. Where it's like they show up and they're really important and steal the scenes for like one season, and then they just peace out forever.
Yeah. I do think it would be really interesting if Cinder did get another maiden power, just because I don't think one human could handle all that, and I would want to see what the repercussions would be, because Cinder seems destined to just be obtaining new things through tragedy, you know? So, yeah, technically you got what you wanted. You're two maidens now, but also your face exploded off of you, or something.
That would be very cool. Like, if Cinder were to die, which I don't know if she would, but, if something were to happen to her, it would be fascinating if it was hubrisy in that way of, like, yeah, she gets two maiden powers, and it's like Ark of the Covenant, and her face just...
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just too much.
And if she doesn't get, like, blown apart by all that power, I think Salem would. Cinder is expendable. I don't think Salem needs Cinder to stay alive. I think Salem just wants Cinder to get all the goodies for her, basically.
Yeah.
So...
I wonder what Cinder thinks. Okay, because I feel that the end game plan, and apologies if I'm interrupting you, Twiins. I think Salem's end game plan is Cinder gets all the things for her, and then she kills Cinder and re-obtains the magic that was
Yeah, absolutely.
Just she absorbs it herself. Because why would Salem benefit from having a loose cannon like Cinder around who doesn't do what she asks if she doesn't need Cinder to open any more keys for her? Like if she doesn't need any more relics, what good is Cinder?
True. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think if Ruby were to get any of the maiden powers, I think it's most likely she'd get it from Cinder, because Cinder's got her hate boner for Ruby, and how dramatic.
That would
Cinder
be so
loses, and the power she's so coveted goes to the one person she hates the most,
because
and
she
who
can't stop
consumes
thinking about her
thoughts. Exactly.
Oh, that's
and then
so
also,
good.
Ruby gets the power, and it's like Pyrrha, you know? She's like, that was supposed to be Pyrrha's power, but now Ruby lives on, or
fucking
whatever the fuck.
destiny.
Yeah.
That would be, if that were to happen, I would want one moment of realization. I would want Cinder to realize what is happening before she dies, because that is...
That's cathartic.
That's incredible.
That's like,
wow,
you know, like
you
those
just
satisfying
wrote
videos.
a whole story.
Yes, I did. This is why Ruby hurts me so much.
It really does, because it's
because I can
there's
see
a solid chance of that not being the actual solution not being as satisfying.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
So that was all the Patreon questions, which was great.
Thank you,
Every single one of
patrons.
those questions were great. Well done. Thank you.
Hooray.
But I also got some questions from Twitter.
Nice.
Not all of them were great. We're not going to answer all of them.
Yeah, so if we don't answer your questions, you're stinky. And
No,
we didn't like them.
It's a lot of them are ones we've already answered. Like a lot of them was like, who do you think will die? What's been your favorite episode? So any repeat comments, you're gonna be on the screen now. This is your shout out. Sorry, there's kind of a lot of you. Let's so one of them, this is from Sleepy. They ask, we already talked about Hazel's look. What do you think about Mercury and Emerald's new outfits?
Nice.
They look great.
I like
10
them.
out of 10.
Yeah. Some people said they didn't like them, and I'm like, what are you smoking?
Fools.
These look great.
Someone
it's just
looks
Emerald's
at-
look, but cold.
Yeah, someone looks at Mercury's new outfit and harumphs, and they're like, I liked the plain gray.
I do think it's
I
kind of
liked
dumb.
it when he looked untextured and like an NPC.
I do think it's kind of dumb that they just gave Mercury a spiffy new look, and then it was like, okay, now go fuck off with Tyrion. And it's like, he's wearing a jacket.
It's
They're
more
going
than
to
Sun
vacuum.
ever got.
Oh, they're gonna go
and
back
ever
to
will get.
Vacuum.
He's gonna show up to save the day, and he's still gonna be the same thing.
It's gonna be an end credit scene of the entire show where he finally gets a new outfit. And he's like,
Neptune
"Look,
will
guys."
have a new outfit, but Sun won't.
God. Sergio?
That is how you say that name.
They ask, how do you guys feel about the fights or the action scenes we've had so far?
What fights? I'm joking. But there really haven't been a ton. I guess I haven't been disappointed so far, but I haven't been super duper impacted. Like, they're kind of just exciting noise, you know? It's none of that kind of heart-pounding, gripping kind of deal that we were getting in the first 3 volumes, or even in, like, Bumblebee fighting Adam, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't help.
just...
I think it doesn't help that a lot of the fights have been... It's been mostly just, like, Penny fighting jobbers so far. So,
Yeah.
There's not, like, a lot of stakes. Like, oh, are the Aesops gonna beat the Maiden? No, they're not.
Like, the most exciting action set piece was when Jolly was chasing after the Hound with Oscar. And that was cool and all, except they ruined it by playing a shitty Jeff Williams song.
It was
over
a bad song, wasn't it?
It was bad. It was really bad.
distractingly bad. I have a big darn gripe with the fights of this volume, because like I said, overall my feelings towards this volume have risen significantly over time. But that fight with it was supposed to be so important with Cinder and Penny. It was so floaty and literally floaty. Like I know that they're flying, but it's like nothing held any weight to it, and Penny
also
spent so much of the fight just running, and it's like, dude, something. You're the coolest fighter in this show. We've seen what you can do. Why are you running from Cinder? Cinder loses everything. It was so
I really
boring.
like the fight. I've enjoyed that one's been my favorite so far, but that's also been like the only real fight so far.
The best,
because Cinder fighting Rhodes was like 30 seconds. Fucking Maria fought Talk for longer.
Yeah,
I had more fun watching Maria and Neo fight so far than any other fight in the volume, and that was a snippet. That was, and I'm not talking about when Maria was in the mech. That was dumb. It was when they were, because it was fun. It was with the height and
I guess what you're saying. I get it. I like the fights. They're slowing it down. You know, characters aren't just zipping around the screen with like
That's
the
true.
biggest, brightest, nonstop flash effects.
That's honestly, that's the worst part, is those fucking effects. And it's like,
at least
guys,
I can see.
This ain't a comic book. You don't need to add the speed lines. I can see that she punched forward without you putting the line there. It's fucking moving. You don't need to add the effect lines, okay? Jeez.
So I feel like, as far as choreography is concerned, it's an improvement. But yeah, you're right. Nothing has really wowed me so far. Next.
It also, I should just clarify, I didn't think anything was like awful. I don't know, my feelings towards the fights in RWBY as a whole have been kind of like, oh, do a cool thing.
We certainly haven't gotten anything
Why haven't
like
you been
the
cool?
gravity fight.
Yeah. And I didn't even like that one, but at least I can acknowledge that they did something different.
Yeah. Next, we have Zion Jones. That's a fun name. They ask, how do you guys feel about Yang? Do you think she could ever be fun again? I feel like they're doing my girl dirty.
Twiins! It's your time.
I just hate her. And it's because, and I think because, so, she lost her arm, and then she was a grouch. Because she had to be doing the I'm sad PTSD thing for a bit there. But then she got better, Blake held her hand, and now her hand doesn't shake anymore. But now she's still just a fucking grouch, and she's a hypocrite. She's constantly screeching at Ozpin. Oh, I hate that guy, because he lied. But she lies all the time. She agreed to lie about the relic. She lied to the team about helping fucking Robin. She's a bitch. And then she was just a rude asshole to Ren, and I don't know, she's mad, oh, he's just being so upset, sitting out there pouting. What a pouty baby, I hate that guy. But it's like, bitch, you just spent 3 whole volumes doing nothing but having a stick up your ass and frowning at everyone.
Yeah.
And I want her to become fun again, because I would like one more person to be fun in this cast, because Weiss is really serious, and Blake is really serious, and Ruby's, she's gotta be serious more now. It's literally just Nora. And I want one more fucking person to smile more often, so that maybe I could start having more fun with these characters too. The fact that when the comic relief is my favorite part, and I don't think it's a funny show, that's a problem. And Yang is she's stagnating the way how they're just having her, she's just the sassy, angry, bitchy one now, and I miss her character being more than that.
Yeah, I wish, I was thinking, in the last episode, they're sitting there with the fucking Aesops after being arrested, and Yang's just, still following orders, and I'm like, could you not just say something, maybe something funny or sassy? Something charming, anything other than just, I'm angry about everybody.
Yeah, she's fucking... I was sick of this shit back in middle school when everyone was like that. I don't want to watch a show where one of the main characters acts like a middle schooler all the time.
Shout out to the middle schoolers in the audience. You guys are probably cool, though.
Shout out to middle school.
I promise you, all you middle schoolers out there, it gets much better once you get out of middle school.
It
I'm
does,
sorry.
Yeah.
I hate how I was back then too, so don't worry.
And I just want to say, Twiins, Yang was your favorite character.
She was. Yeah.
So
it
I
hurts
just,
more.
I want to add that perspective to it, because this isn't just like how I just will never really like Cinder. For the longest time, I actively hated her. She's had a bit more development now, and so it's not just like a mindless hatred like how I dislike Robin. But it wasn't like that for you with Yang. This was one of your favorite characters, and she just became someone, in your opinion, who was unbearable.
Correct.
I don't know if I feel the same way, but she's certainly less charming. This is gonna sound strange, but I've talked about this to Twiins before, but I don't believe I've talked about this on the podcast. Sometimes I struggle to really feel anything towards Team RWBY, the main girls in particular, because they feel so underdeveloped at times that it's hard for me to think of them as like actual fleshed out characters. Mm-hmm. They have these like odd beats where they're like they don't feel like they're written with depth. It feels like a lot of times they are written to serve the plot. Plot comes first, character comes second. And so they'll say and do things that instead of, oh, that's in character, or, oh, they're feeling this way, it's like, Yang is going to pick a fight with RWBY because she needs to go with Jean and Ren. And then Blake is going to go with RWBY because she just is, even though she doesn't seem happy about it. No one made her do that. She just did, and then was kind of sad about it. And then, it's just, they just feel so weak sometimes. So I can't muster up hatred for Yang because I don't really feel anything towards Yang.
Oof.
Yeah,
I just
which
feel like
I guess is almost worse.
I feel like, if you played a clip of Yang from Volume 1 versus Yang from Volume 8...
so vibrant.
It would be like a complete... People would probably think it's a different character. Like she got possessed or something.
And it's not that
some of
trauma...
my favorite lines.
Like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say some of my favorite lines. Like, I love your bow. I like how it matches your pajamas.
Cute.
Great, the gang's all here. Now we can die together. She was just fun back then.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, because I feel like the response to the why can't you just cheer up, Yang, would be, well, she's been through some shit, so maybe she doesn't fucking feel like being super cheery right now. I understand that line of thought completely. It's just that to me, they don't seem... It doesn't feel like a character who has gone through some shit and now is recovering from it. It feels like a completely different person.
Yes.
I'm not seeing a formerly cheerful girl who is now hardened. It's just a new archetype.
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth has this habit with RWBY where characters so often start out so much more interesting, and then one scene will happen and the character devolves into being nothing but that scene.
They're
As an
like
example,
immediately Flanderizing.
an example of that is Tyrion. Because Tyrion was interesting. He was a psycho, but very fluent and elegant. And he stood like a freak weirdo, but then he would also be like poetic. And that was an interesting take on it. And then they wrote one scene where he stabs a beowulf and laughs and sticks his tongue out, and then he became only that.
Yeah.
He devolved to just being that one thing. And I think that's just happened with Yang. I think she had depth and interest in character, and then they wrote a scene where she was grouchy, and she just became only that. And I'm really tired of that happening.
It's interesting because I think you can absolutely see that with Salem, because there was So she was introduced, and she had that very calm, motherly demeanor, and people really latched onto that. But then they, like, started having her be, like, really aggro and, like, scary. And I think we're seeing a return to form with her, like, with her being so calm, because I think Rooster Teeth got pushback, because I think people really liked the idea of her being a scary mom.
I think it's the thing. Like, I think the writers
that with everyone else too.
I think the writers are trying to, like, because I think they realize that they've kind of ruined characters, for lack of a better word. I think they're trying to get back into it, at least with some of these characters, because even Tyrion was, like, a little bit more poetic in episode 1 of this volume, but then, you know, in the last episode, he went back to being like, hey, Mercury, let me get all up in your grill.
Do you remember who wrote the last episode?
Wasn't it? No, I don't.
I don't either.
I don't remember.
I don't know if
I think it's really fun, seeing who writes each episode, because I like some more than I like others.
Miles has really impressed me this volume. He's written some of my favorite episodes, like the Penny versus Cinder one. That one was great. Well done, Miles.
Yeah, because no one talked in it. It was all fight.
No, there was good. The Penny had that whole thing with Penny and Pietro, and all of that, and then Penny.
How it came kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah,
No!
I liked.
Shut up!
I don't know her name, the actress that plays Penny. I really liked her performance. I think all the performances, the direction was very good. However, that episode has all of Miles's favorite staples, which is, we start the scene in the middle of whatever it is they're doing, and then have the characters retroactively explain what the fuck the plan is. Cinder. Evil coups everything, and she also miraculously knows that Penny is struggling with, oh, Daddy doesn't let me do things, and I'm not a puppet like you. Why does Cinder know that? And then also it's got a speech in it, and I think he has improved. But
I'm sitting here trying to just give a compliment.
And that's okay.
No, you turned around and I was like, Miles is doing good. And you turned around and was like, whoa, it was bad.
I'm just not a fan of his writing.
I'm sorry, Critter. I'm also really, I don't usually, I was always trying to be like, no, I'm sure Miles is not bad. I have not enjoyed his writing. I think he struggles with dialogue in particular. It doesn't sound natural. I don't think I've ever heard him do natural sounding dialogue. It always sounds like a translation from a manga. And that might be a very specific reference, but just the way he writes,
saying with that.
It feels like we're
sense.
seeing like panel by panel manga complete with like odd pacing and
he has said before
he's gotten better, but he's still not doing it for me.
He said before that he started his writing by doing comics, so that's probably why it feels like a manga.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
That probably makes a lot of sense. I think he's improving, but I'm gonna say, you know what? That Cinder episode, Carrie wrote that one, and that's been one of the weaker episodes writing-wise. Like, there's a lot of plot holes. I'm not trying to bash on Carrie, but, you know, that's been the only one he's written so far.
I haven't picked up... I haven't picked up any, like, trends from Carrie, which is why I didn't point him out, because I'm not, like, I hate Miles. I don't know the guy, but...
Well, it's good. I think it's just...
But I've just noticed that particular aspect of his writing, and I'm just not a fan of that. I haven't noticed any, like, trends with Carrie's writing.
I totally get that, but Carrie also doesn't really write episodes on his own very often. It's usually Miles and Carrie credited. or just Miles. It's not
like,
usually
or
Carrie.
Carrie and Kirsty, or Carrie and Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie is a director first.
Mm-hmm.
So that does make sense. He also directed that episode.
He did.
Yeah.
Back to the questions. This next one.
Oh yeah, sorry.
This next one is from Hosh, which is how you pronounce that. I asked specifically because I wanted to make sure I pronounced their name right. Hosh. They ask, who has the stronger arc at the moment, and who has the worst, and how can they improve that? And I liked this question a lot because of the "how could they improve it" comment at the end. Because we mentioned earlier that Rainbow's been pretty boring, and the villains have been doing the most interesting stuff. I think if we kind of like do a flippity-do, like if Rainbow became the more prominent members of the second half, then it would make sense. Rather than trying to make the whole volume, like, Team Rainbow is being really, really important, and Team Jolly is being really, really important. If we, like, keep Team Jolly at the first half of the volume, and then make them, like, more sideline stuff, and it helps that they're gonna be going directly with the villains soon.
Yeah.
And if Team Rainbow stepped up for the second half, I think that would be a good way to do it.
I've actually... Okay, I want to jump in because I've specifically had thoughts about this. So Team RWBY as a whole, generally speaking, when it comes to the plot, it feels like they very rarely ever initiate their interaction with the plot. The plot comes to them. Bad guys come to them and attack them. And so I feel like right now the far more interesting arc is Jolly? Is that the one with Yang? Okay. Their storyline is super interesting because they are initiating action. They are going to the bad guy. Whereas for Team
where they'll
Rainbow,
find Roman.
Team Rainbow have been sitting, and the plot has crash landed at their feet.
Yeah,
they did not search out or initiate or do anything. They were told what to do. They followed instructions. And then
following
sat
orders
there.
I see.
Following orders I see. Not like my sister. I'm hoping that, like you said, with the passing of the middle half of the volume, that it'll switch, and so then RWBY can, our main character can like be an interesting and do a cool but right now I'm like, oh boy, what's Jean getting up to? Don't make me say that. Guys. That's so much more interesting. They're going on a rescue mission. They're going to the whale. That's so fucking cool. I don't care about this boring fight at Weiss's house.
I think it's also... I'm
worried about Penny. That's kind of it.
I think it's also... It's important because it's very simple. With Team Jolly, they could have had Winter turn around and go, you're going into the whale to do this thing. But instead, they had Jean stand up and say, let us go into the whale.
Yes!
That's
the character.
Just having them be proactive.
They chose.
Yes. Yeah. Finally. It's so exciting.
Perhaps I misinterpreted the question, because I thought of this as in terms of character arcs, by the way.
Oh, I thought team arcs.
That's what I was thinking too, because everyone seems pretty tied together.
Yeah, it was tough because I was like, most of them aren't developing right now. I think the strongest one is Ren. I think Ren's arc of finding himself and finding, like, inner peace kind of a thing. It's a little up in the air on what exactly his goal is or where we're going with Ren, but I'm the most engaged with Ren, and he, by proxy, makes Nora's relatively boring arc of, guys, I like a boy, and the writers forgot to give me another character trait.
Like she's admitting to that.
Oh, baby.
I love you, Nora.
I guess the weakest character arc is, I guess it's either Hazel or Ironwood, because for Hazel it's, because they're both just fucking stupid. That's what their arc is I was dumb. Yeah, big sausage heads. And a good way to improve that is to just take a little bit of time. So, to improve fucking Hazel would be to rewrite the fucking first half of the volume and not have him
Where
beat
he
the child.
rolls up his sleeves and walks into the room.
Gleefully. He smiles. But for Ironwood, you can, like, we can take a second and have, like, a moment dedicated to him being like, okay, so I lost my cool. And then have him go back to being, you know, not an idiot.
Watts, turn the heat on.
Like, if this is...
What are you doing with that little tiny skull thing that you're putting into Penny's sword? What is that? What does that do? And Watts is like, nothing.
And if Ironwood gets better, like he chills the fuck out and becomes a good guy again, if he does that by talking to Crow, and Crow's like a bro, and then they hug again and maybe kiss, and then
wait,
and then everything will be okay. Surprise! I secretly really ship Crow and Ironwood.
You're an Iron Crow? Is that what it's called?
I am.
Remember when they hugged? Back
yes!
in the beginning of Volume 7?
It's what made it all happen. I wasn't. I was like, they're friends. And then they hugged and I was like, they've dated. They're exes.
Oh. The drama. I actually, retroactively, least interesting arc is the Crow and Robin arc.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
of them kicking their little feeties and being like, man, F the cops. Just,
watch episode 9 begin, and we spend the first fucking half of it with Crow and Robin.
The entire rest of season 8 is Crow and Robin.
They become the most compelling characters in the volume, and it's like, but why? But why and when and how?
But Jean and Ren, what?
and Yang too. She's there.
No, Yang is just there.
She's along
for the ride.
She could become. Give her a
I
chance.
would love that. I don't expect it though.
That's fair.
All right, and we have one last question that I want to talk about. This is from Wolf Witch. They say, first, love your guys' content. Hope you're all okay. What are your guys' thoughts?
Thank you.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Volume 8 intro? I have mixed feelings, so I wanted to hear your thoughts.
I don't like it.
What?
I don't like it.
Why? I think visually...
It's the one that I skip over the most.
Really?
Yeah.
But Volume 3... But wait,
I don't
Volume
remember
5.
Volume 3.
There's some bad.
You know what? I'll redact my second part of that statement. I don't like it, but I don't know if compared to everything else, if it's like the worst.
All right, that's fair. I think the visuals are neat. I think the song is not great. It's kind of bad. It's
very.
That's
a
a
really
Jeff
funny
Williams
way
classic.
to pronounce the word very.
It's also way too fucking long. Like, I think it's longer than last time. They need to shorten these intros.
Well, the only reason why it feels like it may be shorter is because there's not also a Genlock ad to skip over.
Oh.
Volume 6 always haunts me.
No, I love the visuals. I think it's very pretty.
I also don't like it. I think it's boring. I think the visuals are boring. I think the song is bad. I also really don't like, this is a nitpick. From me? What?
Never.
This is a nitpick, but I don't like, and I think I only care because it's on the screen when RWBY airs every week. They've got the little floaty parts where it's RWBY, and in her cape is Volume 1 RWBY, and Yang in her hair, it's old school Yang, you know. I don't like those.
Oh, you don't?
Because only Blake's is featuring her in her trailer location, like the original black trailer location. Because what they did is they took screenshots from, like, the character shorts, and so, like, Yang is just standing around vague forest area, and Weiss is just hanging out in mansion location we've never fucking seen. I would have liked it if they had taken a little bit of time to, like, stick RWBY in an all-white fucking snowfield, you know, and, like I said, nitpick, it really doesn't matter, but it bothers me.
That would have been a very beautiful callback to have that, like,
it would have.
We would immediately know. We would immediately recognize that white snowfield, and if her hood was up, and...
Exactly, and I think it's because, like, they do that with Blake. Blake is sitting on her rock in the fog and in the Forever Fall forest in her little screen area. The others fucking aren't. I don't think Yang's even facing the screen. I don't know. It's just... I don't like it.
I just want to add one more thing. Before, and then I'll let you actually get to defend it, Critter.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that I've also just really not... I've been getting progressively frustrated with Jeff Williams' music.
Yes. 100%.
I used to play music, but I'm not good with musical theory. And I wish I was, because I wish I could articulate what it is about his music that I dislike. Because music is probably one of the most subjective things ever. But it's just been grating on me. And so this volume in particular, every time I've heard a song from him, I've been like, oh, stop. And the intro included in that, I don't like it.
I think it's exciting that Casey's band is kind of starting to be incorporated. Like, they sang the song for Cinder's fight in her backstory. I think that's exciting because, at least so far, as a lyricist, Casey is leagues better than Jeff.
Yeah, I think I texted you guys about that, and I was like, the way...
You had the most perfect example of Jeff Williams' lyrics. I'll see if I can find that, so I can take a screenshot of it and text it to you again, and I don't know, maybe you can put it on screen.
Because I remember what I said, it was like, the lyric that they have in the fight is... take my hand and take my life. And I was like, if Jeff Williams wrote it, it would be something like, I've tried giving you the life you need, now you've taken my life from me. And he would have, like, showed that.
You're so good at that.
He would have taken, like, those two whole-ass sentences and tried to make it fit in the same amount of time as what Casey's band had.
Yeah, really fast and all super high octave, like, increasing in octave with each note. Stop!
I even, like, went back and thought about it, because I was like, no, it wouldn't be something, because I originally thought, I've given you what you need. I'm like, no, it would be longer than that. I've given you the life you need. Extra, like, syllables that just don't flow off the tongue very well.
I do think, like, I didn't notice that it was a different, because it is still Casey singing. So I didn't notice at first that it was not a Jeff Williams song. You had to explain, like, no, it's Casey's band, and then I was able to listen to it and be like, oh, it does sound kind of different. I do hope Casey, I mean, maybe she just really likes rock, that's okay. I do kind of hope that she and her band aren't afraid to veer away from Jeff Williams' sound. I think it would be in her best interest, not only because I think Jeff Williams makes bad sounding songs most of the time.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want her to be stuck in his shadow for all eternity, you know?
Well, just,
and
like...
if she sounded like her own thing, that could really help.
Mm-hmm. And not even just her band, but also just RWBY's soundtrack in general. Because, like,
Yes.
I really liked the Cinder song because it sounds different. It's not the same, like, butt rock anthem thing that we've had for the last 8 years. I would like it if we, like, spiced it up every now and then, you know?
I also had to re-listen to that song in order to, like, process. I had, when I had first listened to it, I had in my mind of, like, oh, this kind of, this sounds notable, but I didn't think that it sounded different. So it took me a sec, but, I think that they definitely have a lot of potential.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, Critter, why do you like the opening?
Yes.
Okay, so
sorry
the song...
that we shout on it so much.
The song aside, because with all of RWBY's openings feel like they, like, cobbled something together last minute, usually. Like, especially after I started watching Mother's Basement's What's in an OP, and I started thinking about openings the same way he would, like, be talking about it. RWBY's openings are just so basic and usually have nothing to do with what the characters are going through. Like, even last...
Either that, or it's like Volume 6's opening, where it's literally just showing you what will be happening throughout the volume.
And, this one feels like they actually put some, like, actual thought and effort. Not only in, like, what the visuals would be, but, like, animating it and not just, like, copying, like, half-assing, like, Oscar and Ironwood look at each other and charge. No, it's like they actually put, like, thought into... like they made a whole-ass chess table and then, like, animated that, like, blowing away. And,
you know what? Yeah, that's fair. That's okay. That's fair.
Solid visuals, and I like that.
It's
Maybe
they
I would like it
succeeded
more.
at conveying the mood of the volume successfully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I would like it
Fuck
more.
me in words.
Maybe I would like it more if it just did have a different song playing behind it.
Maybe. So, that was our podcast, guys.
Oh, we're done?
That was the last question. Yeah, I said that.
Time flies. I enjoyed this.
This was
It has
great.
been too long. Has it been a long time since our last podcast?
No, not really.
It has been too long, says Allison,
It
the
has
human.
been too long since I have spoken to you, my human friends.
My human friends. I think it's been like 3 months, 3 or 4 at most, but not really.
Huh. Well.
But yeah,
How irksome.
this has been great. I've had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
You guys want to do this again when the volume's over?
Yeah!
No!
Oh.
I hate talking to you.
That's why I
smell.
just did it for 3 hours.
It wasn't 3. Well,
It's only 2.
Well, maybe. It might have been like 2, 2.5.
Oh, well, yeah.
I hope you all watching this had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you're staying safe out there.
Yes. If you want more stuff to watch, I just had a video where I'm ranking and reviewing some crazy RWBY theories. So if you want to check that out, some of them we even mentioned in this podcast. So if you want to check that out, it'll be in the iCard and in the end slate.
And you guys should absolutely watch Critters Nuzlocke. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's
so much fun.
Watch it. And then also watch Twiins' newest series, Drawn Out.
Yes.
Also, so good. So good to listen to while you yourself are drawing. Or instead of drawing, just playing Animal Crossing.
Yes.
That's me.
Yes.
That's the one I've been doing.
Watch all of Allison's things, or her scary
I'll make a new
stories.
video someday, I promise.
Your scary stories to tell in the dark video is like an actual masterpiece.
Oh, thank you. I actually am going to start uploading 2 videos a month again. I know that I just stopped uploading for a while. That's because I was looking for a new job and I got one, so I'm good now.
Hooray.
So yeah, do all that, watch all of our things, have a good day. Here's a shout out to my $10 patrons. I'll add this in post.
Begin now!
Nako, Michael, James Dodds, Cool Duck, Andrew, Ramiel, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, G Extreme, Classy Critic, Surge, Dakota D, Taj, and the Boulder Off Bros. There they are. Great people.
Wow,
Love them all.
look at
Every
them.
single
They're
one of
so
them.
cool.
Look at that. Look how beautiful they are. Look at those beautiful
Yeah.
faces. Yeah, in the comments, leave your thoughts and comments and opinions, your theories about the rest of the volume. It comes back on the 6th of February. If you're watching this in the future, come back and comment about how stupid we are and how we were all wrong.
How we're the
Come back
smelly
and comment.
ones.
Come back and comment about how I was perfectly right with the Ren Nora love petals vision.
Yeah.
thing.
Wow, isn't it crazy? Roman was in the whale.
But actually though, if Torchwick ends up ever being in any form, even if it's just his cane in the whale, you win. You win.
Yes. Yeah.
Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye.